Hey guys, it's Sinead. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about my first year at uni. I'm just going to be talking about how I found it and giving some tips and advice based on my experience. I've decided to split this video into sections just to, like make it more structured. I'm going to talk about different things like my course, accommodation, what I think of Birmingham, making friends and all that stuff. If you want, you can like skip to a specific section that you want to hear about, but if you want to watch the whole video and hear about the full experience, then you can do that as well. I'll start off with a little bit of background on me. So if you're new here and you don't know me, I'm Sinead, I'm 19 and I'm a first year medic. I'm currently studying at the University of Birmingham and I'm from London. So when I'm talking about Birmingham, I'll probably be comparing it to London. I just can't help it. Everywhere I go, I compare it to London. It's just something I do. So yeah, sorry in advance. In terms of accommodation, I stayed in a studio for my first year. Obviously that contributed to my experience, so I'll be talking about that as well. But that is just like a bit of background about me. So we're gonna start off by talking about my course. Like I said, I study medicine. Everyone knows that medicine is a lot of work. There's nothing I can really add to that. It is a lot of work. If you are going to study medicine and you compare your timetables to like your friends on other courses, then you will see that you have a lot more time on campus than they probably do. I was at uni 5 days a week most of the time. Luckily, it actually wasn't for that long during the day. Some days were a bit long, but sometimes it was like only 1 hour a day for like a SGT, or also known as a seminar. We call them SGTs, or small group teaching sessions. So yeah, sometimes it was long days, sometimes it wasn't. A good thing about this year, like since COVID, a lot of lectures are pre-recorded. So even though you have in-person seminars, you can do your pre-recorded lectures like kind of whenever you want. Obviously do them in good time, but like you have the choice of choosing when to do it, which is pretty good. I would definitely think that if you prioritize your time, you can still have fun. Like, I guess it just depends on the amount of enjoyment you're talking about. Like, yeah, the course is stressful, but you can still like go to motives and stuff. Like, you won't fail if you go to a motive, but you might fail if you like party every weekend. It's up to you, innit? Like, no one's gonna force you to do the work. And no one's gonna like stop you from partying every weekend. So it's just up to you how you decide to prioritize it. One thing I do want to mention is like the amount of black people on my course. I would say that there's actually a decent amount of black people in my year group for medicine. However, it is still not a lot. So I don't know the exact like percentage or number. There's definitely less than 100. Maybe even less than 50. I don't even think there's anything over 50. My year group's about 400 people. I think it's less than 50 for sure. Like there's less than 5 black boys and there's a lot more black girls. There's enough to have black friends on my course, which I do. I know that there are some other courses though where it's not like that. I have one friend on her course, it's like she's one of 2 black people in the entire lecture theatre. So it just depends what you study, but that's why I think a decent amount. There's not a lot, but it's okay. I'm glad there's not less, is what I'm saying. I don't want to go into too much about my course in this video, so I might do a separate one talking about first year medicine specifically. My overall tip, if you are watching this video and you're gonna study medicine, is to just like prioritize your time. Try your best to stay up to date with like lectures and stuff, and like do them in the week that they're given, because catching up it's not nice. Yeah, that's what I would say. The next thing I want to talk about is UOB and like the area that UOB is in. I'm just gonna say it straight up, UOB is very white. So Russell Group Uni, that is what you're gonna get. It's still diverse in the sense that there's like loads of people from different places, but you know who the majority is. That's what I'm gonna say. To be honest, yeah, UAB, I actually don't mind. Like, it's actually pretty calm, to be honest. In terms of the area, I don't really like this area. I can't put my finger on it, but it's just not for me. If you're from Birmingham, or like you study in Birmingham, and you probably heard of Selly Oak, or if you're going to UAB, you probably heard of it. It's basically where like a lot of UOB students live. And like there's like a lot of accommodations and like student houses and stuff. I don't know how I feel. Like, okay, it's good if you want to live close to uni and you'll probably be close to your friends. I think the reason why I don't like it, yeah, is because it's just like I can't really get the things that I want here. Like most of what I need is not here, is what I'm saying. So for example, I'm Jamaican, so obviously I eat Jamaican food, I cook Jamaican food, so I need things like corn milk, coconut milk, condensed milk for my porridge. Sainsbury's does sell it, yeah, but it's overpriced. Like it's just no. Like I don't know how else to describe it. Like I just don't like it here. Like you have to travel to city centre just to get stuff like that, and that to me is long. Like I'll get into transport a little bit later, but I just don't feel like I get the things that I need here. Also, there's no like Pure Gym or like the gym group here in Surrey Oak, so I still have to travel to city centre for that as well. So it's just not for me. This area is just not for me. For some people it's cool, but nah. The next thing I want to talk about is accommodation. So I mentioned before that I stayed in a studio this year. The reason why I stayed in a studio, so I chose to stay in a studio, and I stayed in private accommodation. So you've got like UAB first year accommodation, which you can't really choose. They kind of just give you one. Like even though they make you choose 6 options, they might not even give you any of those options, and they actually didn't give me any of them, so I just booked a studio. I had planned on booking a studio anyways, so when I had realized that they didn't give me any of the options I chose, I was like, okay, cool, I know where I'm staying. I think a big misconception is that if you live in a studio you won't have friends, which I disagree with. Like there's a lot of factors that play into whether you make friends, and I agree that living in a studio you're a bit more like secluded and to yourself, but that doesn't mean that you're not gonna make friends. So if you want to stay in a studio for like other reasons, so like my reasons is that I don't really like sharing with people, and I don't like sharing especially if people aren't clean, and there's a lot of dirty people at uni, so I just didn't want to take that risk. The people if you stay in halls and share a kitchen, the people you end up having as your flatmates might be clean, and like that's good for you, but I didn't want to take that risk, so I should stay in the studio. And also like I don't really share that much at home. Like it's mainly just me and my mum. I didn't really want to come and share with strangers. Like in terms of like second year, third year, I don't mind like if it's my friends and like I know them, but strangers was just a no for me, so I chose to stay in the studio. You'll definitely still meet people if you like go out, join societies, go to university events, motives, etc. If you go outside you'll meet people. If you stay in your room you won't. There are people that live in halls and like share kitchens and still don't have friends, so it's not 100% just to do with what room you stay in. I mentioned that some people aren't clean. My tip is to learn how to clean, also how to cook before you come to uni, but clean especially, because some of these kitchens, no. You should, people, the fact that human beings are living like that, I have no words. But yeah, learn how to clean. Like learn how to clean your toilet, learn how to wash dishes, learn how to sweep, use a hoover, all of that stuff. You'll be surprised, guys, at how people leave their areas that they live in. Also learn how to cook. I would say have 3 dishes that you can rely on and you'll be good. But yeah, learn how to cook and clean for yourself, for your own benefit. Also, one more tip, so if you are gonna like choose private accommodation, then just choose it based on like your priorities. So if you know that you want to be close to uni and like close to, if you have friends already going to uni, you want to be close to them, like stay in halls or in the area surrounding the uni. But if you don't care about none of that, and you care more about like accessing other stuff like the gym or whatever, then choose it based on that. So just choose accommodation based on your priorities, like if you don't want to share, etc. The next thing I want to talk about is transport. So I'm obviously going to compare it to London, okay? the transport here doesn't even come close to TFL. Like, don't get me wrong, TFL has its issues, but at least I know that the bus will come. If it says it's coming in 5 minutes, the buses here they actually just won't come. Like, I don't get what the point of the timetable is if the buses actually never come on time. Like, I don't think I've ever got a bus here that has come on time. The trains are better. I guess they do come frequently. They come like every 10-20 minutes. So they are more reliable. However, there aren't train stations in like all areas. So there's train stations like where you need to get to uni and stuff. So like there is actually a university train station for UOB. If you're living in other areas, check that there's transport links. Unless you're going to be walking, then you don't have to worry about that. I think transport links are a big thing depending on where you're going to live. Even if you're choosing a house, for me that's a big thing as well, because I don't like to walk too much. Like, it sounds weird because I like going to the gym, but I just don't like walking too much. Like, anything over 15 minutes, even over 10 minutes, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Because in London, that doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to walk that much. The bus can take you from like your doorstep to wherever you need to go. It doesn't happen here. Like, the bus stop is 10 minutes from me. When I was in London, it was 2 minutes. That's just what I think about the transport. I think they need to fix the buses. If the buses came on time, it actually wouldn't be that bad, but they don't come on time, so, you know. My tip for transport is just have Uber money. Wherever you're going, if it seems too long on public transport, just take a Uber. Yeah, that's what I think. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is freshers. So freshers and like motives in general. Freshers, you won't see half those people again, like ever. For the rest of your uni experience, you won't see them ever again. Even group chats, you probably won't meet half of those people, but it is good to join group chats before you get into uni, because then at least you can meet people who are on your course. Freshers is also, I used to hear stories about freshers like before I came to uni, and like you'll hear some like mad things. I can confirm that those things all happen. Like, if it sounds mad, it's happened. Don't underestimate uni students. Like, the people here are crazy. They are crazy. Like, I don't even think that's even enough to describe uni students. Like, they're actually mad. So if you've heard any mad stories, then yeah, it's probably happened. A tip for freshers, yeah, do not be the person to book the Uber, because people won't pay you back. Okay, whatever you do, under no circumstance do you book the Uber to the motive, unless they're your friends. I booked the Uber in freshers, yeah, and some people just didn't pay me back. That's all I'm gonna say. Just don't book it, okay? And my next tip is always have your own money to get home, like back to your accommodation. God forbid you fall out with those people that you went out with, or like you get lost. You need to have your own money to get back. Like, don't let that be the reason why you're stranded. Obviously it can happen for other reasons, but like, bare minimum is have your own money to get home. If it's your friends and like you've known them for some time and they're like, you know, still come out, blah blah blah, then, you know, like, if you trust them, then you can go. Don't go if you don't have cap money. The last thing I want to talk about is the people who are like making friends. I feel like making friends at university is definitely a hit or miss. You either will have no issues making friends, or you just won't have any friends. I personally didn't have an issue making friends, but there are several reasons why it can be hard to make friends. So something that definitely affects your likelihood of making friends is your cohort, and like, so basically your year group and how friendly they are. There are a lot of people that have come to uni with their secondary school friends or like sixth form friends, so they're not really interested in making new friends. So hopefully you end up with people that are open to meet new friends. But that is something I've noticed this year, that some people actually just don't want to meet new people. I would say that university is actually just like secondary school. The maturity level isn't much different to what it was in year 10. I feel like people act the same way. They do the same things that you would do in secondary school. Friendship groups are the same way they were in secondary school. Like, what I've noticed is that it's very cliquey. Like I feel like Birmingham in general is very cliquey. Also, there comes a certain point in the year where you kind of just don't really meet new people anymore. Unless you are like going to events and stuff, then you might meet new people, but then a lot of the times those people are kind of staying in their friendship groups, if you get what I mean. So people are most friendly and like sociable at freshers, but as you get into like semester 2, it kind of just fades away. It just depends on the type of people that you're around, and it also depends on your character. Like if you don't mind going out, then you won't have much of an issue, but if you're more of like a to yourself person, then it'd probably be harder. Don't put too much stress on meeting people and making friends. Like it will just happen naturally. I did mention it before, but my main tip is just to go to events, join societies. If you have a hobby, there's probably a society for it, and that's all gonna help you like meet people. Don't let that put you off. Like university is still fun. So I feel like I've talked about most of what I wanted to mention in this video. If I do think of anything else, then I'll probably do a part 2. If you have any questions about like my course, UAB, Birmingham, then just comment them and I'll get back to you. So my main tips is just like be open to meeting people and do what's best for you at the end of the day. So accommodation, things like that, like prioritize yourself, and like uni will be cool, but also focus on your studies as well, because you don't want to come here for nothing. Aside from that, I hope this video was useful. I hope some of the things I've said hasn't put you off of uni, but honestly, like you'll be fine. University is definitely an experience. That's what I can say. That's what I'm gonna say, because I want you lot to, if you've chosen to go to university, I want you to like, you know, you'll see what I'm talking about. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have anything that you want me to talk about like in a video, just suggest them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.